How many of you are married? Okay. Can you imagine in your marriage, like, being in this relationship, you have the most wonderful husband. You men, okay, I'll talk to you men. You have the most wonderful husband. He's like wooing you and loving you and bringing you gifts. And you're like, oh, I'm so in love. He treats me so good, right? And he's like, what can I do for you? How can I love you well, right? And you're like, oh, this is how you can love me well. And this is just what goes on. 5 years, 10 years. And you're just like, hey, I want this. Can I get this? If I don't get what I want, then it's like, you don't love me anymore. How many of you what would a marriage like that look like? Like, how would you men feel? This is like the call to marriage is about what? Yeah, you no longer live for yourself, right? You're living for someone else. And marriage is a prophetic picture of Christ in the church. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loves his bride, died and gave himself up for her. Women, respect your husbands, giving them the honor that's due. This is the mystery that Paul talks about concerning Christ in the church. He says there's a mystery about Christ in the church. This marriage is just a prophetic picture of our relationship with Jesus. And right now in the church, we're living in such a way that we're in this relationship with him, but we're just like, it's all about us. And then what the fruit of that? I'm going to tell you the fruit of that perspective. What happens is we become fascinated with the wrong things. When our hearts become like this, unintentionally, because none of us would ever do this intentionally. None of us are walking around going, it's all about me getting what I want from God, right? But none of us are doing that. I mean, if you are, we'll pray for you at the end. We do it unintentionally. But when even unintentionally our focus is on us, the temptations change. What we want, what we desire isn't really from God. And we become fascinated. And this is what's happening, I feel, in the church right now in an increased way, is that we're fascinated by platforms. We're fascinated by people. We're fascinated by people's gifts. We're fascinated by signs. We're fascinated by wonders. And you know why? Because we haven't yet been fascinated by Jesus. I'm telling you, when you're fascinated by this man, you're not so impressed by people. You're not so impressed by their gifts because you know what? The gift was given by the gift giver. A platform, a calling is given by the one who gives callings. No man has been given anything except by God.